we're going to take a side on the rent versus buy. Your plan should not be to rent forever. That is not a plan. That is a gamble. Now, our investment journey in real estate started with a lease option, using the money that we made with that to buy our first condo. And after that condo, we bought a house. And then after that house, we bought 2 more condos. And then after those 2 more condos, we bought a countryside home in Portugal. And then after that countryside home in Portugal, we bought a villa, a tiny home. We own a beach house. And now a lake house. You see, all of these home acquisitions would not have been possible if we had have been thinking of renting our entire life. Hey guys, it's Aman from Our Rich Journey, and welcome to my series where I call out some of the worst financial advice sweeping the internet. On today's video, we are talking about the rent for life advice that is taking over the internet. Now, you will hear these online gurus, these bloggers, these vloggers, these YouTubers say this with a straight face, that renting is better than buying. We call these the rent forever gurus. And they don't always come right out and say it like that. They mask it with different types of slogans or phrases. They say things like, buying a home doesn't make sense right now. Sounds rational, but often it's used to justify never buying. They say it's smarter to rent and invest the difference. Sounds like a plan, but most people never actually invest the difference. They say renting gives you more freedom, and that sounds empowering. But in reality, renters have less control, not more. They say a house is a liability and not an asset. Now that sounds clever, but tell that to the millions of people who built their wealth through home equity. And this is the one that gets a lot of people. They say not everyone should own a home. Now that sounds inclusive, but it's keeping people stuck with nothing to show for decades of rent. Now, all of these slogans sound smart. They sound modern. They sound liberating. But let me be real with you. They are a part of one of the biggest financial lies sweeping the internet. And this bad advice is stopping so many people from pursuing the one goal that can actually give them financial security, owning their own home. But here's the thing. All of these arguments are based on short-term thinking. They compare rent versus mortgage in year 1, monthly costs without considering future equity, flexibility while ignoring the instability of being a tenant. And the people that are giving this advice, they are thinking like consumers and not investors. But when you think like an investor, your home ownership journey can look a lot like ours.